Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today I just wanted to present to you another of my collection. This is an incomplete collection, mind you, but I thought I'd show you some. I showed you this copy of The Phantom Detective, as published by Standard Publications, and I thought I'd show you another series. Um, this one is published by actually by Better Publications, Canadian edition, and the same publisher, in Alpines. So, as you know, the character, the Phantom Detective, was also appeared in the Better Publications of the comic books, um, along with the more famous Black Terror and Miss Mask and so on. Um, But I also wanted to show you the uh, Black Book Detective, and that's the Black Bat. So these are the reprints of the original pulps, and this is the Black Bat's Crusade. It's one of the later reprints. It was published by a man named James Hanos, and they're referred to as, they're very thin. And he went on to publish, as you see there, a pulp reprint. Went on to publish uh, some more of these older pulp novels. And it's very small format, a little less than digest size. This is one of the later editions of the Black Book Detective Black Bat. The first appearance of the Black Bat was in 1939. And of course, those of us who know the comic books know that Batman also appeared in 1939 in Detective Comics number 27. But the Black Bat actually appeared 3 months earlier than that. And there was another version of the Bat, or the Black Bat, a hero, written by another writer much earlier than that, back in 1934 in the pulps. But I want to show you a reprint of the very first Black Bat, Black Book Detective appearance. This cover, just by the style, uh, it's Norman Saunders. That's who drew the artwork for this cover. The Black Bat was written, and like I said in the previous episode, by Norman Daniels, writing as G. Wayman Jones. Norman Daniels actually wrote almost all of the novels. So this is one of the later ones. There were literally almost 100 of these Black Book Detective Black Bats. So I'm going to show you the first one. And this is the very first Black Bat. It's called Murder Calls the Black Bat. And it's the first Hanos. And as you can see there, it's a kind of blue ink cover. This is the first appearance of the Black Bat. The Black Bat is a fascinating story. The main character is a guy named Anthony Quinn, and he's assisted in all his adventures. Usually, they show pictures of his assistants in the stories. By this fellow here, this is a Silk Kirby, and another one of his assistants is Carol, and they help him in all of his adventures. Now, Anthony Quinn is actually, the way that story starts out, he's actually assaulted um, by a criminal. He's a district attorney. He's assaulted by a criminal, and the criminal throws acid onto his face, and it blinds him. So Quinn, with the help of Carol Danvers's father, I believe, uh, has a special kind of operation that heals his sight. Something that's a fact that's known only to him and Carol and no one else. And his sight is restored, but his senses and especially his vision is heightened. So one of the super qualities that he gets is to be able to see, almost like have infrared vision. So he's able to see in the dark. So that gives him kind of an advantage over many of his criminals. He is very similar, and you have to wonder, he's very similar to Daredevil. And if you know the Daredevil origin, you know that Matt Murdock, the alter ego of Daredevil, uh, is blind, but all his other senses are super heightened. This is a different take. His vision is restored, but his vision is heightened to the point where he can see at night like it were day, according to the stories. So that's the first one, and the next one in the series. And there are these are the early ones. This is the Black Bat Spy Trail. You see here, and again, very clear but pretty small type. This is the Black Bat's Spy Trail. This is the Black Bat's Challenge. This is the Black Bat Strikes Again. This is the Black Bat's Triumph. And the style of the artwork, that's Norman Saunders. And this one is called The Black Bat Fights for Life. If you look carefully, you'll note from the style of the artwork that that's Rudolph Belarski. And this is Without Blood They Die. You see the black bat in the cover. Damsel in Distress. And this is the seventh column. These are really fun reads. Lots of adventure, lots of detection and mystery. Now, the Black Bat, throughout his adventures, has a nemesis in Inspector McGrath, who works for the police force. Now, McGrath thinks that Anthony Quinn is the Black Bat, and he's forever, in all of the stories, forever trying to chase him down and try to prove that he is actually the Black Bat. Somehow, and of course, throughout the stories, he just comes close. McGrath is a protagonist, an assistant protagonist, and both an antagonist throughout the stories. And it features artwork, interior artwork, and there you have a depiction of Silk. Further on, and there's Inspector McGrath. He's presented kind of as a hard-boiled kind of figure in the stories, kind of a Mickey Spillane type protagonist. They are fun reads, and there's Carol. And this is the next in the series. This is The Murder Prophet. This is Blind Man's Bluff. So along with people like Norman Saunders, Rudolph Volarski, and they were the main artists for the series. But there was also another artist named Rafael de Soto. So he did some artwork for the series too, and you can tell by this style that this is more like his style. And this is the Black Bat's Dragon Trail. And here's one of the last ones in the series. This is called The League of Faceless Men. It's one of the later ones. And this is the Blackout Murderers. They didn't quite crop the covers very well. There, the interior art. There's a lot of consistency with all of the better publication pulps, hero pulps. And here is the White Witch. And here's another copy of, and this is a recent edition published by Sanctum Books. And it has articles by Will Murray, but it also features a depiction of this version of the Black Bat. And I'm going to show you this. Let's see. Yes. This is a character called the Mask. And the Mask appeared in Exciting Comics #1, Volume 1. And it was from the story Brand of the Black Bat. Now, of course, eventually they had a court battle between National Publications, which is the future DC Comics, and Better Publications over the name Batman. And cooler heads prevailed, and they came to a kind of agreement. And Batman reached greater heights and glory, and the Mask, this character, disappeared into oblivion. But definitely wonderfully superior covers. So that's this one. And this is Captains of Death and the Black Bat's Spy Trail. These are wonderful editions of the series. Here we have the covers of the original pulps. So that's a rarity, actually. You don't see the Black Bat in action in most of the covers of the books. So that's Captains of Death. And I'm going to show you the original pulps. And I have a few of those. This is the Denison documents, and this is one of the early ones. And one of the things you notice in these adventures is a lot of medical hospital nurses and doctors type stories. So there you go. So, and then you look inside for the publisher. You notice how brittle these are. These were written, pulps were written, they're called pulps because they were written on cheap pulpwood paper. You see they also contain stories by, there's Thubway Tham, Johnston McCulley, the guy who created Zorro, created a feature character named Thubway Tham who appeared throughout in many of the Black Book Detective pulp magazines. You see, if you notice, it was published quarterly by Better Publications and Alpines. So that's that one. And This is The Murder Trail, Anthony Quinn. That's that. They are not as expensive if you know the right people and if you find the right place. They're not as expensive as some people think. And this is this one you'll note has been trimmed. And of course that devalues the magazine because pulps were not, they were kind of, they were printed on cheaply bound. And if you notice the artwork, if it looks familiar, the realism and so on, that's because it is drawn by Rudolf Belarski. He was noted for his detail on the covers. So that's The Dead Man's Plunder. You flip through it, as by G. Wayman Jones, which we know to be Norman Daniels. And it's published every month. This was every other month by Better Publications. Um, and they feature these covers. Same artists that did Phantom Detective and their other very popular, probably the most popular, the Masked Rider, which is a kind of Lone Ranger type character. And this is the last one I want to show you. This is The City of Hate. And you see the writers, Johnston McCulley with his Subway Fam, and you have Carol John Daly, who practically created pulp, the hard-boiled crime detective in Black Mask, the pulp magazine Black Mask. And there you go. There's another Rudolf Belarski cover. Beautiful cover. This one is not trimmed. This one's a little more valuable. So that's that one. And here's another Rudolf Belarski. And this one's a little more fragile. It's called The Man Behind Murder. And yeah, right there. Beautiful cover. Noted for his realism and demonstrating expression. This one looks like he used an actual photograph. Really well done. It's one of the selling features of these books was this. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this little presentation on my Black Bat collection. What inspired me, of course, to collect the Black Bat was, of course, my love for the Batman superhero, which I have some of the older, at least the 1960s Batman comic books, the Silver Age Batman comic books. And of course, I've collected reprints and so on. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on my Black Bat collection. And if you did, and if you want to see more, please like. If you have a chance, subscribe and comment. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. Bye.